And those men took me from there, and they carried me up to the sixth heaven. And I saw there 7 groups of angels, brilliant and very glorious. Their faces were more radiant than the radiance of the sun, and there was no difference between their faces, or in their dimensions, or the style of their clothing. These groups carry out and carefully study the movements of the stars, the revolution of the sun, the phases of the moon, and the well-being of the cosmos. And when they see any evil activity, they put the commandments and instructions in order, and the sweet choral singing, and every kind of glorious praise. These are the archangels who are over the angels, and they harmonize all existence, heavenly and earthly, and angels who are over seasons and years, and angels who are over rivers and the ocean, and angels who are over the fruits of the earth and over every kind of grass, and who give every kind of food to every kind of living thing, and angels who record all human souls and all their deeds and their lives before the face of the Lord. And those men lifted me from there, and they carried me up to the 7th heaven. And I saw there an exceptionally great light, and all the fiery armies of the great archangels, and the incorporeal forces, and the dominions, and the origins, and the authorities, the cherubim and the seraphim, and the many-eyed thrones, regiments, and the shining Otanim stations. And I was terrified, and I trembled with a great fear. And those men picked me up and led me into their midst.
"Be brave, Enoch. Don't be frightened,"
they said to me. And all the heavenly armies came and stood on the 10 steps leading to the throne of God in the 10th heaven, corresponding to their ranks, and they bowed to the Lord. And then they went to their places in joy and merriment and immeasurable light, singing songs with soft and gentle voices, while presenting the liturgy to him gloriously. And they do not leave by night, nor depart by day, standing in front of the face of the Lord, and carrying out his will, cherubim and seraphim, standing all around his throne, 6-winged and many-eyed, and they cover his entire throne.
Holy, holy, holy Lord of heaven and earth, Hosanna is the highest.
And when I had seen all these things, those men said to me,
"Enoch, up to this point we have been commanded to travel with you."
And the men went away from me, and from then on I did not see them anymore. But I remained alone at the edge of the 7th heaven, and I became terrified, and I fell on my face, and I said in myself, "Woe to me! What has happened to me?" And the Lord sent one of his glorious ones, the archangel Gabriel, and he said to me,
"Be brave, Enoch. Don't be frightened. Stand up and come with me and stand in front of the face of the Lord forever."
And I answered him and said, "Woe to me, my Lord! My soul has departed from me from fear and horror. And call to me the 2 men who brought me to this place, because I have put my confidence in them. And with them I will go before the face of the Lord." And Gabriel carried me up like a leaf carried up by the wind. He moved me along and put me down in front of the face of the Lord. And I saw the 8th heaven, which is called in the Hebrew language Muzalath, the changer of the seasons, of dry and of wet, and the 12 zodiacs. And I saw the 9th heaven, which in the Hebrew language is called Kukavim, where the heavenly houses of the 12 zodiacs are. And on the 10th heaven, also known as Aravoth, I saw the view of the face of the Lord, like iron made burning hot in a fire and brought out, and it emits sparks and is incandescent. I saw the face of the Lord. But the face of the Lord is not to be talked about. It is so very marvelous and supremely awesome and supremely frightening. And who am I to give an account of the incomprehensible being of the Lord, and of his face, so extremely strange and indescribable? And how many are his commands, and his multiple voices, and the Lord's throne, supremely great and not made by hands, and the choir stalls all around him, the cherubim and the seraphim armies, and their never silent singing. Who can give an account of his beautiful appearance, never changing and indescribable, and his great glory? And I fell down flat and bowed to the Lord.
Be brave, Enoch. Don't be frightened. Stand up and stand in front of my face forever.
And Michael, the Lord's archistratege, lifted me up and brought me in front of the face of the Lord. And the Lord said to his servants, sounding them out,
Let Enoch join in and stand in front of my face forever.
And the Lord's glorious ones did obeisance, and said, Let Enoch yield by your word, O Lord.
Go and extract Enoch from his earthly clothing, and anoint him with my delightful oil, and put him into the clothes of my glory.
The Lord said, and so Michael did, just as the Lord had said to him. He anointed me and clothed me, and the appearance of that oil is greater than the greatest light, and its ointment is like sweet dew, and its fragrance myrrh, and it is like the rays of the glittering sun. And I looked at myself, and I had become like one of his glorious ones, and there was no observable difference. And the Lord summoned one of his archangels, Revoil by name, who was swifter in wisdom than the other archangels, and who records all the Lord's deeds. Then the Lord said,
Bring out the books from my storehouses, and fetch a pen for speed writing, and give it to Enoch, and read him the books.
And Revoil hurried, and he gave me the pen for speed writing from his hand. And he was telling me all the things of heaven and earth and sea, and all the elements and the movements and their courses, and the living thunder, the sun and the moon and the stars, their courses and their changes, and seasons and years and days and hours, and the coming of the clouds and the blowing of the winds, and every kind of language and singing, and human life and rules. He instructed me for 30 days and 30 nights, and his mouth never stopped speaking. And as for me, I did not rest, writing all the symbols and all the creatures. When I had finished, Reval said to me,
These things, whatever I have taught you, whatever you have learned, and whatever we have written down, you sit down and write. All the souls of men, whatever of them are not yet born, and their places, prepared for eternity. For all the souls are prepared for eternity, before the composition of the earth.
I sat down for a second period of 30 days and 30 nights, and I wrote everything accurately. And I wrote 366 books. If you like videos like this, please subscribe, comment, and share for more videos.